Very good morning, dear children. Today we discuss the topic is national income. Okay, so national income and social accounting. National income and social accounting. National income and social accounting. So national income is also being measured by the social accounting method. So in this method is always measured by social accounting method. So measured by the social accounting method. Then in this method, the transactions among various sectors, the transactions in between the various sectors, so the sectors of firms, then households, then government, etc. Okay, so the transactions among the various sectors are firms, households, then government. Then these are recorded the irrelationship traced. So these are the irrelationship based. The social accounting framework used for economics as well as family policy makers. Okay, so the social accounting framework is useful for economics, then policy makers, okay, policy makers. Then another one is because it represents the major economic flow and statistical relationship among the various sectors of economic system. Okay, yeah. So it becomes the possible to focus to the trends of economy more accurately. So more accurately, yeah, more accurately. That's all. Then the social accounting and sector. Social accounting and sector. So under this method, the economy is divided in several sectors. So divided into several sectors. Okay, several sectors. But a sector is grouped of individuals or institutions having a common interrelated economic transactions. So individuals or institutions, individuals or institutions having common interrelated economic transactions. So common interrelated economic transactions. Okay, that's all. Economic transactions. Okay, so the economy is divided into the following sectors. So what are the sectors? First one is firms. Then second one is households. Then third one is government. Then fourth one is rest of the world. Then fifth one is capital sector. Okay, so first one is firm means நம்மளுக்கு என்ன தெரியும் ஆல்ரெடி ஒரு கம்பெனி நிறுவனங்கள் அப்படி சொல்லுவோம். Then households means குடும்பம் அப்படிதானமா. Then government அரசாங்கம். Then rest of the world means வெளிநாட்டுல உள்ள இத வந்து என்ன சொல்லுவோம் நம்ம rest of the world சொல்லுவோம். Then capital sectorனா நமக்கு மூலதனம் இந்த மாதிரி சொல்லுவோம். Okay, so these are the sectors. Okay, next one is firms. So I will briefly explain firms. So firms, what do you mean by firms? Firms is They are all organizations which employ factors of production to produce the goods and services activities is called firms. Okay, so firms undertake the productive activities. So firms are productive activities. Productive activities. Productive activities. Thus, they are all organizations which employ the factors, factors of production, to produce goods and services. That's all. Okay, so the productive activities then employ the factors of production to produce goods and services. That's all. So next one is households. Households. So households. The households are consuming entities and represent the factors of production. So represent the factors of production. Who receive payment for services rendered by them. Who receives payment for services rendered by them to firms. Okay, the household consume goods and services they are produced by the firms. Households என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, produced and consume பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay, that's all. Next one is, does the firm makes the payment to households for their service. Households firms service பண்ண, firms household service பண்ணுவாங்க. So the households spend money, income they received on goods and services produced by the firms. So நம்ம income money கொடுத்து நம்ம goods வாங்குறோம். So firm என்ன பண்றாங்க, அது திருப்பி productionக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay, so this is a circular flow of money between these two groups. இந்த ரெண்டு குரூப்ஸ்க்கும் நல்ல வந்து relationship இருக்கும். Okay, so firms and households. Then next one, the government sector. Next one is government sector. Okay, the government sector, the economic transactions of public holds at all levels, central, state and local, in their work connecting social accounting. So the economic transactions of public bodies at all levels. First level is center, then second one is state, then third one is social accounting. So these are the government sectors. So central class, state class, social accounting. Okay, then local. Okay, then local. Okay, so the concerning accounting, Ide and Peacock have defined. So the Ide and Peacock or define பண்ணிருக்காங்கமா என்ன அப்படினா, Ide and Peacock define government as a collective person. So government has a collective person. Okay, so government has a collective person. So that purchases goods and services from the firms. Purchase பண்றதுங்க goods and services firms. Then these purchases may be financed through taxation, public borrowings or any other fiscal means. Okay, so the transactions financial எப்படி இருக்கும், fiscal means the through transaction, public borrowings, transactions, public borrowings, next taxation, next one is any other fiscal. Okay, that's all. So transactions, public borrowing, taxation, and any other fiscals. Then the main function of the government is to provide the social goods. Main function, social goods, like defense, public health, education, etc. So social goods like defense, then public health, then education, etc. So these are the social goods. So next one is households patram, government sector la pathirukoma. Next one, this means satisfying the collective wants of society. The collective wants of society. Then, however, the public enterprise like post office and railways are separated from the government sector and included firms. Okay, so separated are included firms. So enterprises, post office, and railways are separated. Post office, railway, separated. Okay, post office, railways separated from the government sector and included the firms. From the government sector included firms. Okay, that's all. Next one is rest of the world sector. Rest of the world sector. Okay. So the relates international economic transactions. Rest of the world and international. So international economic transactions of the country relates international transactions. International economic transaction is the main point. No? Economic transactions of the country. It contains income, export, and import transactions. So international import and export. So import and export transactions. The external loan transaction. External loan transaction. Loan transaction. Okay, and all overseas investment, income, and payment. Then all overseas investment, income, and payments. That's all. So these are the rest of the world sector. Then another one is capital sector. Next heading, capital sector. Capital sector. So the capital sector refers to saving and investment activities. So saving and investment, save பண்றது and invest பண்றது. So investment activities. It includes transactions of bank, insurance, then corporations, financial houses, etc. Okay, so it includes the transactions of banks, then insurance, then corporations, then financial houses, and other agencies. Okay, that's all of the money market. So these are not included under firms. So இதெல்லாமே என்ன ஆகாது நம்மளுக்கு not included the firm. Included firms. Okay. So not included firm. These agencies merely provided financial assistance to the firm's activities. Okay, that's all. Next heading is While assessing the sectoral contribution to GDP, the economy is divided into three, namely primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. Then three sectors are there, ma. So first one is primary and secondary, primary, then secondary and tertiary. Tertiary sectors. Okay. So the next one is national income and welfare. So next heading is national income and welfare. National income and welfare. So the national income is considered as the indicator of economic well-being of a country. So indicator of well-being of a country. Well-being of a country. The economic process of countries is measured in terms of their GDP. So measures from the economic process of countries measured in their firms. So GDP per capita and their annual growth rate. So measured GDP per capita, then annual growth rate. Okay, that's all. So next one, a country so which a higher per capita income is supposed to enjoy greater economic welfare. So higher per capita income is supposed to enjoy greater economic welfare. That's all. Okay, so the higher standard of living. So it's a higher standard of living. That's all. So, but the rise in GDP or per capita income need not always promote economic welfare. So, GDP per capita is not promote economic welfare, also promote. So, GDP not promote the economic welfare also not promote. Okay, that's all. So the per capita income as the index economic welfare suffers limitations. So these some limitations are there, ma. So limitations. So what are the limitations? First one, the economic welfare depends upon the composition of goods and services provided. So first limitation is depends upon the composition of goods and services provided. Okay, so the greater the proportion capital goods over consumer goods, the improvement in economic welfare be lesser. So the consumer goods are improvement, the economic welfare will be lesser. Consumer goods are improvement. So consumer goods improvement. The economic will be lesser. Welfare will be lesser. Okay, that's all. Then similarly the production of luxurious it means for rich classes only. So luxurious rich class thanama. So luxurious rich class only. Rich class. That's all. Okay. So next heading is higher GDP with greater environmental resources. So next one is that is the air, water, soil, and pollutions will be little economic welfare. Okay, so higher GDP higher GDP with greater environmental hazards. So there's a air, water, then soil pollution. That's all. Okay. Then third one is the population of war goods will show the increase in national output but not welfare. Output increase ஆனாலும் but output நம்மளோட welfare இருக்காது. Okay. So the output increase in national output but not welfare. Okay, that's all. Then fourth one is an increase in per capita income may be due to employment of women and children or forcing workers to work for a long hours, but it will not promote the economic welfare. So the due to employment of women, then children, or forcing workers to work long hours. So will not promote economic welfare. Okay, that's all. So therefore, the physical quality of life index is considered as a better indicator of economic. So physical quality of life indicator. So physical quality of life index. Indicator life index. Okay. So இது வந்து ஒரு questions-ல வரும். Okay, so what is meant by PQLI அப்படி கேட்பாங்க. Life index is considered a better indicator. The better indicator of economic welfare. It includes the standard of living. So it includes standard of living. Then life expectancy at birth and literacy. So life வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும்? Birth வந்து expect பண்றது என்னது? Literacy. Birth and literacy. So birth and literacy. That's all. Okay. So PQLI important one ma. Okay. So next one, national income and erosion of national wealth. Okay. National income and erosion of national wealth. And erosion of national wealth. Okay. So for achieving higher GDP, larger natural resources are being depleted or damaged. This means the reduction of potential for future growth. So future growth productions production. Okay. So hence it is suggested that while assessing national income, loss of natural resources should be subtracted from national income for achieving a higher GDP larger. Higher GDP larger means the GDP rate is increasing. So or depleted or damaged. Okay. So for achieving higher GDP, then larger natural resources then are being depleted. depleted. Okay. Next one is national income in terms of US. National income in terms of US dollar. So when Indian national income is expressed in terms of US dollars, the former looks very low. If purchasing power partial method is adopted in India, looks better. So India looks better. Okay. So when India national income expressed in terms of US dollar. Okay. Terms of US dollar. For former looks very low. Purchasing power parity method is adopted. Power parity method is adopted. Okay. So purchasing power parity method is adopted. So PPP. Okay. Next one. Social environmental cost. Next one is a social environmental cost. Okay. While producing economic goods, many environmental and social bads are also generated. Hence, they also must be considered while enumerating national income. So, இதெல்லாம் நம்ம enumerate பண்ணோம் national incomeல அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு consider பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Okay. So, while producing economic goods, many environmental and social bads. So, many environmental and social bads. Social bads also generated. So also must considered while enumerating national income. Okay, that's all. So summary, the national income of a country. Summary ma. So summary paranga. The national income of a country describes the economic performance or production performance. Describes the economic performance and production performance. Okay, of a country. So economics, planners, government, businessmen, and international agencies use national income data. So who's they used to mark? So economist, planners, then government, then businessman, then and international agencies, Okay, so international agencies use national income data. So use national income data. That's all. So the analysis them of various purposes. The national income data help in measuring changes the standard of living. Income data measuring the changes of standard of living. Changes பண்றது. Standard of living of different countries. Countries வந்து different ஆகும். So countries. So level of development of a country is also measured by using the national income. So level of development of country is also measured the by using national national income. That's all. Okay, so level of development country by using national income. Okay, that's all. So இதோட இந்த lesson வந்து ஓவர்மா. next lesson, next class we will see you, ma. Okay, so today discuss the topic is difficulties. So social accounting and sector. Okay, so next lesson we will see the 2 marks and 3 marks you must study, ma. 2 mark define national income, define GDP, deflator. So these are the important questions and difference between and relationship between GNP, NNP. These questions are very, very important. So please study the questions. Okay, thank you, students. Thank you so much. Late.